Okay, one person is waiting. Let me first, huh? All right. Okay, so let's start. Right, good afternoon, everyone. So we need to start on time because we are stuck in between our sharing sessions and our Prime Minister's sessions, right? So I'm LJ representing NanoSec EDU, and I'm the host today for the very first online sharing sessions. Together with me we have Mr. Mohin and Mr. Fakhri. Hope that their topics will inspire and motivate the next generations of cybersecurity talents and for those who are going to join cybersecurity industry. All right. So today we are glad to have three security communities in the room. First is NanoSec, second is Wargames.MY, and the third one is Global Cybersecurity Camp, GCC. Right. I'll leave the introductions of Wargames.my to Mr. Fakhri, and please allow me to bring you through who are the remaining communities and what are we doing. Right. Okay, so I'm representing NanoSec Education Initiative, right? And we came from NanoSec, which they are conference organizer starting from 2018. Right? So speakers from around the world gather in KL to share their experience and all the cool stuff they have done. So we had a great time, and we are going to have great time for the next few years. And NanoSec do not carry any or sell any products, just for knowledge sharing. So they are focusing on growing local cybersecurity community and expand them to the international level. Along the journey, Global Cybersecurity Camp, or GCC, approaches NanoSec for this 1 week student camp. And this camp consists of 8 participating countries, namely Australia, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, Taiwan, Thailand, and Vietnam. Each of the countries will nominate their trainers to conduct specific topics, and our speakers will share more of their experience of GCC this year. Right. With this kind of collaboration, right, we see there's a need of students, academics, and industry experts to come together to raise the awareness, the skill, the knowledge of Malaysia's CyberSec industry. We believe that the right talent with the right skill set that fits the right position will bring everyone to the next level. As CyberSec industry covers almost every aspect in our lives. Right. That's why NanoSec EDU has been established for this purpose. All right. Speaking of students, right, we also have cikgu-cikgu from Persatuan Sahabat Guru Malaysia in the room. Thank you for your time spending with us. All right, a shout out for them. All right. So that's about a brief introduction of NanoSec, GCC, Wargames.my, and NanoSec EDU. All right, so you can find our website here. All right. Without further ado, all right, let's invite our first speaker, Mr. Mohin, to take over the first session. All right. While he's setting up, all right, a few reminders to all. All participants, your mic are set to mute by default. If you have any questions, please post it in the chat room on your right panel. And for Facebook viewers, you can post your questions in the comment box. All right. Yeah, Mr. Mohin, please.
All right. Thank you, LJ, for the brief introduction. All right, let me get my slides ready. Okay, so my topic for today will be that journey from script kiddie to hacker. So I'll be talking about how I got into the cybersecurity industry. Well, let me start with my introduction. As LJ said before, my name is Mohin Paramasivam from Malaysia, and I'm interested in penetration testing. I've been doing penetration testing for the past 2 years. doing some activities and also some trainings and stuff. So I'm doing my diploma in software engineering, second year at APU. These are my social platforms, GitHub, LinkedIn, and also I'm part of the CTF team called Shellhound. We have been very famous in most of the CTFs. And recently, some of my ex Shellhound mates, they started out a company called Threat Solution. Their basic motivation is that they wanted to actually like organize CTFs and also workshops for all students from every universities, because most students who are interested in cybersecurity, they don't get a proper approach in most universities. They are lacking from a hands-on perspective. So we are more like wanted to give them experience on hands-on approach and train them in specific parts, something like penetration testing and forensics. So let me start off with my history, how I got into cybersecurity. First of all, I started programming at the age of 13, and my first programming language was Python. So you guys can ask me questions, something like how you got the interest to start off programming at that age. Well, most of the guys, they start off programming since 7 years old or 8 years old. But then during that time, I don't really have interest in computers. I was thinking that I don't share a specific interest in computers and it's something out of my vision. But then at the age of 13, I saw this interesting book in the bookshelf at my home. It was called Black Hat Python. So I just took it out and was flipping through some pages, and it was kind of interesting for me at first. So I was like, okay, let's just give it a try. Just like, let's discover what Python is. So I went online Googling for tutorials and started off at a website called Codecademy. And I started programming Python since then. But during that time, I was not really good at it. I was just like copy pasting from YouTube and just running random scripts. For example, I was doing some games, something like dice rolling, also some random questions to be asked through Python. And then, so you guys will be thinking how this actually relates to hacking. So after that, I got really obsessed in games. I like to play games. I was playing Windows 10 and stuff, yeah, games in Windows 10. And during that time, I had Wi-Fi at home, and suddenly, my dad actually like, uh, de- he decided to actually change the plan from monthly plan to broadband system. So during that time, I had a limited bandwidth, and I can actually like download any updates for the games. So that time, I actually thought, okay, if I just leave it like this, I won't be able to play any games. So I decided to search online how to actually like hack Wi-Fi's. Like, you know, neighbors do have very like very strong Wi-Fi signals during that time. So I decided to actually Google up how to hack Wi-Fi's and stuff. So when I asked one of my friends, he told me that there's a distribution, Linux distribution called Kali Linux. And I just installed on my VMware. That was my first time installing a different OS. You know, I've been using Windows since then. So what happened when I installed Linux? I got really scared when I saw terminal at first place. I didn't know what to do after getting into Linux environment. So from there, I went through more forums online, discovering how to go through tutorials. So I discovered this specific tool called ACRAC, which actually like helps to capture handshakes. If you guys have done Wi-Fi hacking, then you guys are familiar with these phrases. So capture handshakes and also do some brute force using Crunch, and you get Wi-Fi password. But that time, I didn't actually get to crack any Wi-Fi passwords because I was not really skillful during that time. But then from that on, I got to discover more Kali Linux YouTube suggestions through YouTube. Yeah. So some of the YouTube suggestions were social engineering attacks. It was really interesting for me. So because I got to know about Mr. Robot. So this specific movie, so most of hackers really actually like love this movie. called Mr. Robot because it's really like real world based scenarios are included in that movie. So I got to know about social engineering attacks, and from that on, I started going from script kiddie to a minimalistic hacker. So at that point, I was really interested in hacking, from Wi-Fi to social engineering, fooling people to give out passwords and stuff. So it was really interesting during that time. And one day, my dad actually said that Unit 10 is organizing an ethical hacking workshop. So I was really interested during that time. So I registered and attended the workshop, and they actually like introduced me to hands-on approach on cybersecurity, like hacking rail systems, brute forcing into FTP servers. So from that on, I discovered that hacking is not just through hacking games, hacking Wi-Fi, and also just social engineering. It's about finding vulnerabilities in systems. So when I did some Google research, I got to know about some websites called Hack the Box and also OneHub, where you can download virtual machines and you do penetration testing. So that's how I got into penetration testing at first. So from that on, I tried to build up my skills and learn more about penetration testing and discovering vulnerabilities. And also during my high school, I took up computer science. So that actually helped me a lot in developing my skills in cybersecurity too. And yeah, that's a brief introduction and history about me. So let's talk about learning outcomes. So over the past years, I've been doing like bash scripting. I just took up bash scripting recently when I actually this actually understood that Python has limitations in Linux. So when you do Python programming and you want to interact with terminal syntaxes, you have to import more modules in Python. So what I did was I went online researching about bash scripting, and I just tried it out. It's all about learning in cybersecurity. You can't just be interested in one topic and don't learn from there. So you just have to keep on trying new things. So I tried new things, and bash scripting was really interesting. At first, I went through a lot of difficulties to understand the syntax because it's not plain text English where you just say that, okay, do this for me. But you require a lot of algorithms and also some weird key characters and stuff. And second thing, I get to understand and utilize Python during pen tests. So, when penetration testing, you will be coming through a lot of exploits online. So I get to understand the exploits, and also some exploits at some time, I have to modify it so that it can work with the specific system. So that was really a plus point for me. And also I get to understand bash and use terminal without any like struggle. I was really confident in using terminal until now. So I hope that I can actually get better at using terminal also, because as sysadmins, they usually make a lot of mistakes configuring some permissions and also security based techniques. So you have to use the terminal to discover what vulnerabilities are there from that perspective. And also recently, I was able to join GCC through NanoSec sponsorship. And also GCC organized this camp for youngsters so that they can actually improvise their skills and come back to their country and do something for the society. So through GCC, I have been wanting to learn blue teaming since a long time because I have been concentrating more towards red teaming. So GCC got me this opportunity to teach me about blue teaming through the CTF. The first part of the CTF was about incident response. So incident response was more towards like finding what techniques were used by attackers and also discovering how to catch up on the attacker's techniques. So when an attacker attacks a system, you get to see what attacking techniques are used. So from coming from an attacker's background, I got to like see how incident responders work when they go through log files and also go through, many of the, like, let's take, for example, Active Directory. When you go through Active Directory, there are many processes for hacking an Active Directory, something like Kerberosing and, some key techniques. So you got to see what are the logs are created when you perform that attacks. So that actually helped me a lot in understanding the concepts when you're hacking a system. So the next workshop, which actually caught my attention a lot, was fuzzing and reverse engineering. So since I went through a lot of YouTube tutorials, I came across this specific video called Pwn to Own. Yeah, it was a competition organized in China where people hackers got to examine real world systems and discover vulnerabilities during that time, and they get rewarded with lots of cash. So I got really interested in it because, I was really curious how people get to reverse engineer systems and also find bugs in it. So GCC actually gave me a lot of approach where they taught me some tools, how to fuzz systems and also reverse engineer systems. So that's how I got the interest in discovering more about reverse engineering, binaries and stuff like that. And okay, security have taught me a lot of things, not just technical issues, but one of the things is that I was able to surf the websites on online safely, where all of the time when I visit a website, I just go through the SSL cert, because from an attacker perspective, you know that without any SSL encryption, your data can be stolen and also man-in-the-middle attack can be taken place. So whenever you visit online, you get to be safe. You can't just say that you are 100% safe, but at least 95% you are safe online. So it helps me to be safe online and avoid from being a victim to other hackers. And the second thing is that it helps me to develop an hacker's mindset, where you get to play with a lot of things and ask yourself whether this thing is really safe. When companies market their products, they say that, okay, this is hacker proof and our security is the best in the world. But then through hackers mindset, you get to ask questions whether these items and products are really hacker proof. And from security perspective, you get to examine a lot of things. So you're always curious and you want to know how things work from technical side and also from consumer side. And finally, I got this phrase from this specific movie called No System is Safe, where this character told that everything has a weakness and no system is safe. So whenever you go online or you use any digital items, you have to ask yourself whether this item is really secure or it doesn't have any weakness. You have to ask yourself. So from at a hacker's mindset, you got to examine from all perspective. So that's the thing. When you want to get into cybersecurity, you have to develop that curiosity to know how things work so that you can research on new things and develop new exploits and also new techniques to safeguard yourself from hackers. And let's talk about exposure I got through GCC. Well, I got the opportunity to network with a lot of security researchers. Some of the security researchers have, talked in a lot of conferences such as DEF CON, Black Hat, HITB, and also NanoSec. So I was actually having a lot of interest in joining a lot of conferences. But then since I'm a student, the price for admission is really high. So this opportunity given by NanoSec and also GCC gave me the opportunity to network with security researchers and share some important concepts in cybersecurity. So they taught us a lot of knowledge, and also they shared their life through experience on how to become a security researcher. Besides that, I get to learn a lot of new techniques and a lot of new topics. For example, uh, Alina from from Singapore, one of the security team from Singapore, she shared about car hacking. So car hacking is really complicated to understand. If you guys go through like tutorials online or books, you will be having a lot of struggles to understand the concept. But then you got the opportunity from the person who performed research to teach you about how to be said that she gave a walkthrough on how to exploit the systems and how things work. So that's how you get to understand the concept, how car hacking works and stuff like that, for example. And I also got to develop these two skills where I got to learn how security meetups are held, how Japanese committees organize the security meetup, and also more hacking techniques are taught through this GCC camp. And I'm really grateful for having this opportunity. Thank you again, NanoSec, and also GCC committee for making this a dream come true. And I have some of the hopes for future too. First of all, I would say that I hope that more meetups are held, whether it is international or local, for both security community or also for students. And besides that, more workshops. I hope more workshops can be actually taken place for local talent, because there is no point learning only theory through university or online forums and stuff. But then when you have workshops, people like us, we get to learn hands-on approach and improvise our skills through workshops. Besides that, more talks about cybersecurity. Well, our target market nowadays are for high school students, where high school students, let's say, for example, in my school, during my high school time, most of the students were struggling to get into this industry, cybersecurity, because they have lack of knowledge on cybersecurity, since and some of them, they didn't actually know that there is a specific degree for cybersecurity. So I took this opportunity at my school to give a talk to my club members, computer club members, and I gave them an idea on how to get into cybersecurity from diploma to degree. So we can actually like organize more talks on cybersecurity, focusing high school students and also the diploma students. And another example I can give is that since I'm in diploma, I have actually like worked a lot in recruiting members for my forensic club, where I usually go to everyone and say that, okay, let's just join this club so that you get to know how security works and stuff like that. But then they start to doubt on themselves, saying that, oh, okay, I don't have any idea how security works, and I don't have any knowledge. How can I excel in this field? Okay, let's just give it. They don't want to give a try on joining this club. Instead, they say that, okay, let's just join this club after joining degree. After commencing their degree, they want to join this club. So at that time, they will be having a lot of struggles on how to know how to get into this industry and stuff. It is better to start from scratch rather than uh, getting into these clubs at the last minute. And finally, I would say that this approach, where we develop cybersecurity related videos and also interactive games, can attract more students towards this industry, because nowadays students, they are more interested in playing games and also more towards interactive media. So why not, I propose that we develop some kind of cybersecurity games. For example, Carnegie Mellon University have organized CTFs, which are visual based, And also they have this specific video game under their SciLab program, where they attract primary school students and also secondary school students to play their CTF and also play cybersecurity related games so that they attract talents towards their university and the cybersecurity industry. So that's, I hope that this is a strategy we can use to attract more talents towards this cybersecurity industry. Yeah. Yeah. So these are some of the additional resources. Some of the links I have talked in my given my speech before this. Codecademy is the website I used for programming, where I learned programming language such as Python, Bash, Java, HTML, and etc. And the other two websites are hacking platforms, Hack the Box and also WordHub. You can either download virtual machines on your virtual machine and also perform penetration testing, or you can access their cloud-based interface where you just connect through VPN and hack through the website. So yeah, that's all from me. Any questions from the floor? Okay, anyone who like to ask any questions, you guys can type it out in the group chat. No questions?
Perhaps they are too shy then. No
Let me
worries.
tell me one thing.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, just a disclaimer as proposed by NanoSec committees. Since I got into the cybersecurity industry after discovering about Wi-Fi hacking, I'm not actually proposing you guys to get into Wi-Fi hacking and doing some illegal stuff. It was how I got into the industry. You guys can actually get into the industry performing ethical hacking, not illegal hacking. That's all. Yeah. What's the greatest challenge you face while learning? Well, that's a great question. Some of the challenges were, we don't have, since I started, I got into cybersecurity from high school, right? During that time, I don't have any like tutorials and I don't have any tutors, people who can actually help me to develop the skills. So I went online, Googling, and also like, doing self-research. So it takes a lot of time to understand a specific process. So let's say we have a committee during that time, we could actually like solve the issue in just like minutes or in just like, a short amount of time instead of spending a lot of time and giving up in a specific issue when you faced during hacking and stuff, something like that. Yeah. Anything else? How long does it took for you to learn those things? It is not about how long it takes to learn something. It's about how long you want to spend on learning those things, something like that. Yeah, because I started learning since high school, right? So I would say that it took me around 3 years to understand all of the concepts in hacking, and there are many things for me to learn too. So it's based on you guys, whether you guys want to like commit yourself in learning, or you just want to know how things work and you don't take any actions from there. It's all about how you take actions after learning those stuff. Is there any project that you have done in security? Well, not projects, but I have developed some tools and also some exploits on exploit DB. Well, those exploits are not only from me. I mean, when a security researcher finds a bug, you just script it out so that you ease the process for penetration testers or security researchers to do more research on it. So I wrote some scripts for some exploits. I think 2 exploits so far. Yeah. Anything else? Examples of legal hacking. Wow. Okay, in terms of legal, from industry perspective, it's called penetration testing, where you ask for permission from the company, CEOs and security officers before you hack into the company. So that's called legal hacking. But now, let's say you are learning, you want to actually like learn. Some of the platforms I told earlier, Hack the Box and also OneHub, you guys can download the virtual machine and try out, hacking it in your own lab environment. Importantly, don't actually like attack live systems because it will fall under illegal hacking. You just do under your, your own lab environment. Did you went through any hard times in persuading what you have? Hard time. It's same as what Jinfu said earlier. Greatest challenge, where you have to learn all about ethical hacking by yourself, where you don't have any guide during that time. Yeah, that's the only hard time. Can you share some sites where I can learn about ethical hacking? 100. Okay, I'll type out some of the links here. Okay, and also there are many videos on Udemy. If you guys don't want to actually like spend some money on videos from Udemy, I would recommend you guys to search up some of these YouTubers on YouTube, where they share a lot of tutorials on ethical hacking, and you guys can develop your skills from there. John Hammond, Cyber Mentor, and then also InfoSec. Yeah. Do you have a syllabus for learning cyber skills so I can learn step by step? Syllabus. I can share my experience from how I started learning cybersecurity. Well, I would say that first of all, start to learn at least one programming language, a scripting language to be exact, something like a Bash or Python. And then try to understand how terminal works. Excuse me, terminal, so that you can actually like use the terminal to do all of the stuff. In Windows, it's more like a CMD. In Linux, it's called terminal. So after that, you try to step into what you actually want to, focus on, like red teaming, penetration testing and stuff. Blue teaming more towards like incident response, SOC and stuff like that. Okay, can you explain about the blue team? Oh, okay. Okay, red teaming is more towards like offensive perspective, where you attack systems and discover new vulnerabilities, and you write a report on how. Sometimes, if you know how to fix those vulnerabilities, you can actually include it in the report. So blue teaming are more towards like you discover any attacks on a specific company. Let's say some top companies like Google, Facebook, they have their own security team where they have 24/7 network monitoring. So any like incidents happen, they have security responders where they see the reports and they determine whether the report is like false positive or is it an actual attack from hackers. So they respond to it. Red teaming is more towards like penetration testing. You guys can like work more towards like consulting firms, from like Rapid7, FireEye, like local industries in Malaysia are like LGMS, KPMG, yeah, something like that. How to strengthen our security so we can avoid from getting hacked. Okay. Strengthen. So you mean like strengthen from your perspective? You can use like when you surf online, you use like VPN, and always check out websites, like scan websites for phishing links before clicking on any links from your email. There's one website called what is it? Virus Total. Yeah, you can upload any like binaries you download. Something like, let's say you have an email coming from an unidentified individual, and they ask you to click on this link to download a file. Let's say you accidentally click the link and you downloaded the file. don't open it. You just go and scan the file before opening, something like that. And you can go through online. Yeah.
All right. We'll accept the last question. Then
Okay.
we'll pose it to the
Okay.
next session.
So what's the best programming language to be skilled at first? I mean, it's better to be skilled. Okay, there are many questions coming up.
Yeah, just pick one. Then
Okay.
we'll answer the last one.
I think yeah, programming. I would say that you focus on Python. Python is versatile. You can use in many platforms. Like they are being used in AI, data intelligence, and data and stuff like that. So it can be used in many industries, and it's multi-purpose. So it's better to master Python. And besides that, it's based on which part of security are you working on. Like if you play with hardware stuff, then it's better to learn like assembly and also like C, C++ and stuff like that. I think.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's good to keep the questions coming in. All right. So we'll pick those that are interesting enough. And I got quite a lot of questions on GCC because I think we are Malaysians, we like free stuff, right? So I'll explain what is GCC. All right. So I accidentally did not share the screen just in the previous introductions, and for those who just came in, right? So this is hosted by NanoSec Education Initiative. So who we are, all right? We are a small little initiative branch out from NanoSec, right? Everyone see my screen now. This time I just need to check. All right. Okay. Oops. All right. So NanoSec is basically a conference organizer that hosts a non-product or vendor-neutral conference in Malaysia starting from 2018. So the first year we are again, it's like these sharing sessions where we have a lot of overwhelmed responses. We have speakers from Argentina, South Africa, I can't remember, all right, Netherlands. So we have even participants from all around the world. That's where, just to share a little secret, NanoSec might have overseas conferences next year, but I don't know where. You need to ask those NanoSec committee, right? So I'm in charge of NanoSec education. So for any online sharing sessions, CTF, any activities, you can find us. And for those who are keen in looking for jobs or internship, right, you can join us in any sessions or even conferences to meet all those experts. All right, so that's the place that we wanted to gather every experts, including younger students, future experts, so that we can keep the ecosystem going on. We no need to every time it's like, hey bro, you got somebody to hire right? Anyone looking for a job? I want grade A, grade B, grade C students, right? So we hope to minimize the gap between academics, students, and industry experts, right? So because we are busy with all our stuff, we are professionals in different areas. So hopefully NanoSec education and NanoSec will be a good place for everyone. Right, so back to GCC. Okay, so GCC is also community-based. So what they do is they are going to try their very best to find sponsors, to nominate students, to interview students, to send students to overseas. So these two lucky speakers were sponsored to one of the most expensive cities right, for this year, which is Tokyo. So that's why we only managed to send two. So for those who want to sponsor, please feel free to contact the committee later. All right. So what they do is students are going to send in CV. All right. I'll share the link later on. All right. So this year was in February. And next year should be in February also. The dates is tentatively January or February, and it will be in Taiwan, right? So for those who want to go for a tour after that or before that, right? So this will be your chance. But more importantly is like what Mohin has just mentioned, right? Besides technical terms that we can learn from internet and peers around, they can extend themselves to know experts from different countries. Right? So this is GCC, or Global Cybersecurity Camp. So for students here, please work hard. You have a lot of competitors, right? They are able to choose maximum 4, and depends on the sponsorship. All right. So that's your chance and the challenge for all of you. For lecturers in the room, please nominate potential talents too. All right. This will be a good exposure. All right. So for those who are interested to represent me to go to Taiwan next year, feel free also. Right. All right. So these are the contact, right, on my screen, where the website is gcc.ac for Global Cybersecurity Camp, and NanoSec will be nanosec.asia. So for those who need further context or details, all right, after the talk, you can just either post on the comment box, or you can just ask in the chat room here. All right. So without further ado, all right, I think we should skip our break because it's already 3 and we have I think Fakhri is standing between the Prime Minister and this talk. Right, so let's let Fakhri to carry on with the second session. He should have some interesting experience to share.
Hello?
All right, yep, hear you.
Okay. Okay. Hi guys. Before I start, I would like to say thank you to the NanoSec for giving me this opportunity to talk, to share, to inspire, and hopefully you guys will learn something from this session. Even though I may not be the best example to get people motivated at all, especially during this MCO. This talk will be about my journey and how I end up being in the field of cybersecurity, even though I don't have any background in cybersecurity education. And I may use some technical words, technical terms. So if you guys don't understand, or if you guys have any questions, please use the chat box and I'll try to answer along the way. Okay, all right, so let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Fakhri bin Zulkifli, final year student at UITM Melaka in electronics and computer engineering, but currently doing my internship at Cycom Aziata. I'm one of the GCC Tokyo alumni, as well as one of the guys who run the CTF for Wargames.MY and some of the Hack in the Box conferences. Okay, so how do I start? So basically, I started at a quite young age. I taught myself how to code. My first programming language was 16-bit assembly. I got inspired by watching my brother reinstalling the OS because it somehow got affected by a computer virus. So I wanted to know how the virus works and how to create it. So I read a lot of tutorials how to do it and collect all the samples. But I was from kampung back then, so my house doesn't have any internet connection because my kampung is somewhere in Terengganu where Penyu live. So if you guys come to my kampung, instead of having 4G speed internet connection, you guys are going to get Penyu speed internet connection lah. Even sometimes it's hard to get a mobile phone coverage at my kampung, also Penyu. So I had to go to the cyber cafe like a lot. It's not easy. I had to spend a lot of money, like hundreds or even thousands. It was like RM to ringgit for 1 hour. And since the internet is super limited and slow at my kampung, so I ended up spending like 3 to 4 hours there just to download all the PDF tools and source codes or whatever recommended by the internet. I only had one 1 GB thumb drive at that time, so I had to travel back and forth from home to cyber cafe almost every day. And of course lah, my parents were always mad at me because I kept spending my school money, skip lunch just to pay for the internet. My mom used to chase me from cyber cafe to home. I was so stupid lah back then. I even stupider now. Not long after that, my brother introduced me to Ubuntu OS. He said that one is immune to computer viruses. So I tested it with all of my virus collections and none of it worked. So I wanted to know why and how. So I go to the cyber cafe again, download everything about Ubuntu, and from there I got to know C, C++. I also used to write code using a GUI text editor pre-installed inside the Ubuntu OS until one day my brother caught me writing C code and taught me how to use Vim instead. So I started to use Vim then. I think you guys should try using Vim. And good luck. It's not all nice and smooth. One day my old and only computer broke down and my father decided not to repair it because it's too freaking expensive at that time, and due to the limited resources at kampung and everything. So it's kind of disrupting my learning process. So I stopped learning like for a couple of years until I somehow got selected for my for one Malaysian netbook in 2010 given by MCMC. It was a small Aspire 1 netbook, and then I installed Ubuntu on it so that I can start learning all over again from assembly to C, C++, and to Ubuntu. My first successful hacking attempt was when my brother gave me the Alpha Wi-Fi adapter, the black one with the long antenna. He taught me how to crack into my neighbor's Wi-Fi using accurate tools. Just like what Mohin said earlier, you also use this tool to get free internet, but please don't do something like that. Doing something unethical will later give negative impacts to your future, especially in cybersecurity. So please hack your own Wi-Fi or do it in your school lab supervised by your lecturers, or maybe use proper platform just like what Mohin also said. Hack the box, or you may compete in Wargames.MY or any other online platform out there. There's nothing cool about leaving your nickname, handle, signature, trademark, or whatsoever on someone else's computer, someone else's website. That is one of the reasons why people play at the first place. People play CTF at the first place. To provide them a place to train, also compete with others to see whether you are really good or not. Okay, so all right, so continue my story. I'm using Backtrack OS at that time. So for those who don't know, Backtrack is the first version of Kali Linux. We got a lot of alternative like Blackbox or something like that. It's just another version of Kali Linux. I proceed to learn more about hacking, so I go to the cyber cafe again and collect all the resources and start to learn. I even read whatever source code for the tools, for the hacking tools. I downloaded from the internet because that is only I had at that time. So I just kind of read for fun and for knowledge, of course. Until one day I found a local hacking forum. They have a lot of tutorials there, some even written in Malay. Mostly the tutorials are about web exploitations, but there are some people who share their write-up on how to crack software and write a keygen. I met a lot of good people there, and some of them are still in contact until now. And then I decided to learn more, but I don't know what I don't know. So I decided to apply for an internship at my CSM as for my diploma internship, so that I could learn from the real people in the industry. So thank you to Mr. Fatah Mr. Ramadan, and also Mr. Mahmoud. Without these guys, I wouldn't be able to enter this field and learn so much about cybersecurity. You guys are the best. So if the students wanted to learn more, maybe you guys should contact this guy lah. So work and study. During my diploma days, I used to organize and conduct a few workshops because I wanted to help my seniors doing their final year projects for free, of course. I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to learn and improve my programming skill as well. So I spent all my school allowance on Arduino and stuff like GSM module, Wi-Fi module, and electronic stuff. It was a good investment back then. Jalan Pasar is like my second home lah at that time. I managed to get some of my classmates to join me, and we named it our group as Project Maker Bridge. Our mission is to let everyone learn together and live happily ever after. I also used to help people solve their electronic problems on Facebook to better improve my ability to understand people's problem and provide them a solution. A lot of students seek for the solution in some Facebook groups like JomWeb or MyDuino or something else. And maybe some of you also did this before, but it's okay. Everyone get to learn something as well from your problem. So there's no need to be afraid of. If you never ask, you never know, you never learn. So keep on asking, keep on learning. Also by helping people online, I get to know some people and become friends because we share the same passion. We decided to join a lot of hackathons together, like AJ Hack, Cyberjaya City Hack, and so on. Hackathon is a great place to train you to think and code in a stressful situation. It's like doing your final project within 24 hours. It's fun, isn't it? And now during my degree, even though I have been working and studying at the same time for the past 4 years, I still get to practice and play CTF with my friends. Okay, Wargames.MY. So how do I end up being in Wargames? I started from solving challenges on the hacking forum and then decided to participate in CTF. Some people used to share their knowledge by creating challenges so that others can practically learn whatever knowledge it is. It could be anything, SQL injection, XSS, or maybe some advanced SQL injection with WAF bypass. Some who didn't manage to solve it will get to learn it sooner or later once the challenge ended and people start to share the solution. In this way, the challenge creator may also learn something new from the solution. There might be some other method to solve the challenge. So basically, the idea is to get everyone to learn so that both the challenge creator and the solver get the benefits, and then they live happily ever after again. I also did create my own challenges there. I used to get bashed, troll, keji, kecam, hina by others. Some won't even tell you what is wrong. They're just gonna throw you. But I just keep on doing. I just keep on doing it and improvise based on the so-called reviews. Some may say your challenge is old, learn nothing new from it, but it's okay. You are not going to discover something new every day. So use your creativity to make something old looks like new. So that's how you improve by making challenges for CTF. And from there, you usually will become the center of attention for some people because of your reputation. Maybe one day one of you guys will lead the Wargames. Why not, right? My first participation was in 2015 when I was doing my internship at NanoSec. We formed a group based on the forum. I forgot to say the name. The forum name was TBD.my. Well, back then some of us love solving challenges, and some of us love making challenges there. And as I said, I used to create quite a few challenges too. So from there, we continue to get to know each other because usually it's always the same guy who managed to solve your challenge. You create another one, it's always him. So and then from there, we decided to team up and play stuff together. And yeah, Yapari, if you know him, he is one of the best bounty hunters from Malaysia, currently working overseas. He discovers bugs in popular websites like Google, Facebook, Twitter, and they rewarded him like a lot of money. He also used to create some advanced SQL injection tutorials and challenges too back then. So basically, you guys need to understand the problem in order to create your own challenges. So from there, you are getting a lot more knowledge. He used to throw me for my stupid challenges. I gave up and then I create another one. He threw me again and then I gave up again. It's kind of like repeating that way, but I just keep on trying, keep on learning, keep on creating challenges until one day he finally he finally shut up and left me alone, and I was relieved because I was able to live happily ever after again. Or maybe it's because I learned something from his positive encouragement and showed some improvement. So thanks to Yap, to whom I will never know how to create a proper CTF challenge. You are awesome. Global Cybersecurity Camp. Global Cybersecurity Camp for me is like a summer camp for cybersecurity. You get to learn and share whatever research you did with students from different countries. Some of the students are doing PhD and masters, and there is this one guy who is doing research in fuzzing the TypeScript compiler. So if you don't know what is TypeScript compiler, you might as well Google it. It's pretty awesome for me to be able to learn directly from that person himself. It was a 1 week long camp, 7 classes. You get to learn things like incident response, fuzzing, reverse engineering, machine learning, binary obfuscation, and also OSI. The class will be taught by cybersecurity experts from all over the world. And on our first day, we were divided into multiple teams of different countries and compete in incident response CTF together. It was 2 days challenge. So during these days, you will get to learn and discuss with other students, even from different teams, because the goal is not to win. There is no prize at all, but the idea is to play as a team, and from this you get to learn or maybe share how to solve the challenges in different ways. And then you get to present your findings in front of all trainers by the end of the week. So for those who are in their final year, we'll be able to create some connections with the trainers, maybe because some of them are looking for a new hire. So maybe if you are looking for internship, also that is one of the opportunity. So if you were good enough and presented your findings quite well, you might get the attention. You also get to choose 2 special class, but my favorite one was the IoT reversing class. The trainer is Malaysian and he is the creator of Killing IO, such a cool guy. He taught us how to use the framework to emulate the binaries and debug it on different platforms. So if you are into binary emulation or even reverse engineering, you should check out his project and submit some pull requests maybe. Or you may even want to use it as part of your final year projects, create stuff there. And I heard if you help him with this project, he might belanja you KFC. Other than that, I get to learn the Japanese culture. I get to choose wherever I want to go around Tokyo on the last day for sightseeing, and they escorted me there. So it's not always about hiking 1 week there. So they also do some cultural activities. So if the student is into historical places, they get to visit some shrines or temples. So it's quite fun 1 week fun. It's not all class. It's not all brainstorming or learning programming or writing codes. So for students out there, do your best this year. Be the champion of Wargames CTF. You get a prize, and you may also get to the GCC next year. As AJ said, Taiwan will be the host next year. Advice and thoughts. First, you must understand the fundamental, not just learn the fundamental, but understand it. One day you will come to a time when you think you know everything, you think you know it very much, but when people ask you to do it, you fail. So basically, practicals are also important, but must also come with the fundamental knowledge. Not knowing what you do is considered as fail. Focus on what area you prefer: web, network, mobile, incident response, forensic. Try to learn as much as you can on that specific area. Also improve your English. Like it or not, English is a world language, so you need to be able to speak English fluently when speaking at conferences. Even me myself still learning English, even though so far it doesn't seem to have any improvement at all. Practice public speaking, as you're going to be speaking at international conferences like Black Hat or DEFCON one day, where there are like 50,000 people are looking at you and judging for sure. So make sure you guys are not shaking and mumbling like me right now. Maybe some of you might say, you lucky lah, you got a supportive brother who taught you many things, exposed you to this kind of things at an early age. But what I would like to tell you is that he only taught me how to write a C program to calculate a body mass index, and it was like less than 10 lines of code. The rest is up to me whether to go for more or just satisfy with that. So never stop learning. Don't make any excuses. The moment you stop learning is the moment you become stupid. Because the cybersecurity is a fast changing industry. People create new stuff every day, new technology every day, and usually it doesn't come with security. Like for example, Zoom. Yeah, of course, it's not completely new technology, but someone should be able to protect them at the first place. And in order to do that, you need to know and understand the fundamental of technology, so that you can recognize possible threats and that may have some impact on the business. Don't ever give up. Just do it, even though how many tries it takes. Just do it. Cybersecurity is not for hearty tissue. And once you got what you want, just be grateful, stay humble, and contribute back to the community, because you are not going to be at the top. You are not going to be learning anything without the knowledge taught or shared by the community, shared by the people in the community. So it's time for you to do the same thing and prepare the generation for what is coming. Don't be selfish lah. And for the last one, from my own opinion, cybersecurity in Malaysia is still quite far left behind. But don't let that demotivate you. If you think you are not worth here, you can always try your luck outside of Malaysia. Cybersecurity is not only limited to Malaysia. All people around the world need someone to protect them. So GCC is a great place to start. So make sure you guys do your best at school, at college, at university, participate in CTF and contribute back to the community. And maybe one day NanoSec will contact you for GCC. That is all from me. For more information on our annual CTF, you guys can check out our website and follow our Twitter. Also, don't forget to read the write-up from the previous winners at our GitHub repo. I think that is all. You guys can ask me any question now. Wait.
All right. So, oops. Hope that everyone has got Fakhri's Wargames link, as well as his experience. He came a long way, learning from his brother, learning from all the guru that you have mentioned. By the way, those Sifu and gurus are also in OWAP's group, which is also OWAP's Malaysia, which is also in which is another community, and we have also another community, and some of the senior members and junior members are also in this room, which is RawSec. So you can see that Malaysia has a lot of community that would like to bring on the next gen of talents. So hope that students and academics and industrial experts can come together to make Malaysia great again. Right? Yeah. So we are recognized, and actually, thanks to the GGC community, where Thailand actually is live streaming this video also in in Thailand. So thank you, Thailand team. So you can see that we in cyber world, we are so small that everyone can be connected together, right? So let's build this together, right? Without looking into our backgrounds or how strong we are or how young we are, right? Everybody learns new things every day, right? So let's look through some questions. Do we have any questions? Do we still have time before? Oh, we still have plenty of time before our Prime Minister deliver his speech.
We can ask the probability
Yeah,
and CEO extension.
yeah. Let's browse through the admin team. This. Perhaps since we have a little time left, Fakhri, do you want to explain what about the TypeScript fuzzing that you asked us to Google just now?
Oh. I just only know the TypeScript fuzzing from BCC. So and now people asking me to explain it. If that is my research. I don't know, but you guys can Google it. TypeScript fuzzing. TypeScript is basically basically the one that you use to write JavaScript inside the HTML code. Digital what stays in Japan? What happened in Japan stays in Japan. Okay. For Yusuf Hamid, is it true that they can easily know everything about us? It depends on what software you are using, Zoom or whatever. So if that software is somehow have like a lot of vulnerabilities and people and the vendor doesn't seems to care about patching the bugs, so you might end up getting hacked, and then people start to get information about the users. So if you use that particular software, the possibility of you getting hacked, getting know about your info is quite high. It depends on the severity of the bugs. For like, let's say Zoom, you said that Zoom is quite dangerous, but you have first thing is you have to understand the vulnerabilities. What kind of vulnerabilities is that, and before you assume that it is completely cannot be used because someone report a bug or something. So you just need to read the security advisory. So you might as well learn. You might as well start Googling what is security advisory. Any advice on how to master programming language like C++? I think for any type of programming language, I think everyone knows that practice makes perfect lah. So you have to first learn how to write a proper statement, proper for loop, proper like variable, what types of variable are there, and then how do you create a function, a class, what is a structure or something, and then from there, once you know the basic, the fundamental, and then you just keep on practice, keep on writing codes by doing like Mohin said, dice roll program something, any other kind of simple projects, and then from there you get to and then from there you going to improve.
I'll just like to add on some small little unimportant points. Right, my student in a private university, right, he feel that his task on submitting teaching evaluations every sem is very tedious. a lot of forms, a lot of 1 to 5 star need to evaluate. So he write a simple script just to click once and submit all 5 star to his lectures and all the programs and all the subjects that he have enrolled in that semester. So it might be a good chance for you, right? So this is not actually hacking; it just make things automated, right? Make lives easier. Security. Okay, security cover a bit huge area.
For normal people, I mean, do you have basic recommendation on website?
Okay,
Or apps?
I think
maybe Mohin want to answer the later question.
Recommendation on website or apps. It depends on what you want to learn lah. I mean, like in security, yeah. It doesn't mean that they have a website where you can learn all part of security. You have to do your own Googling research thing.
Okay, perhaps if you want to start, you can start from Malaysia website, for example. The next question, like from MyCert, right? So they post up a lot of latest attacks. So from there, you can just just Google search. Let's say, for example, like just now we don't know what is TypeScript, so let's Google out and then Google again and then Google again. You can find the actual keyword, right? So MyCert actually has a very good resource on the latest trend, right? What is the latest one? According to the NanoSec conference in 2018, I still can recall, where the speakers say the top attack in Malaysia is actually not very technical, but is social engineering. So the conclusion is Malaysian lack of love. That's why they fall into a lot of love scam. Right. So perhaps you can start from there, right? Perhaps you do something about anti-phishings or create more awareness on that. That's also part of security. Right.
How
you
do
have
you
a question?
How do you get to intern with MyCert CSM? For Razik Basri, the answer is you have to look up the MyCert website. They usually post their opening position or something there. So you just kind of Google that and read if there are any special requirements. Okay. How to win Wargames CTF? How to win Wargames CTF? Basically, you just submit the flag and then you get the highest score and then you win.
Okay, I think Wargames has a lot of write-ups also, right?
Yeah.
And
So you guys
Fakhri
can
also,
learn. You guys can learn or you guys can practice from the previous write-up. Any advice?
Okay, I thought this question was asked.
Yeah.
Perhaps we take the last 3 questions. So we organizer need to check a lot of platform from different places. So let's see if we have other questions from. Okay, so before we end, right? So again, for war games, I think Fakhri will share the slides and. Oh yeah, we have a question.
Okay, how to keep ourselves motivated?
Find somebody to throw you. All right. Okay. Fakhri went through a long way, I guess, as an outsider look into Fakhri, his journey was a long way. Right. And for Mohin, I think he get a lot from his environment, from restriction from his parents, right? So environment does motivate a person to move on, right? As well as friends. And just now Fakhri has a lot of shout out to all the sifus and gurus. So find a mentor or find somebody that able to guide you. That will help a lot, right? Even a normal friend, same level as you, right? You can learn something from each other.
Maybe I can add something. So how to keep ourselves motivated is basically if you please don't learn. Don't practice on your own. Get a sifu, get a mentor, because these people might give you some motivation as well. So if you just keep on learning on your own, doing practice, just keep on learning by your own, and once you start on some problem, and that's when you getting demotivated. So my suggestion is that you need to have like a group, study group, and then a great mentor, someone that can always motivate you whenever you feel down or something. So that's how you keep yourself motivated.
Maybe I can add something also.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you just like try out new topics in security. Don't just stick in one topic. When you get bored on something like a research or something, then try to search up new ideas and new ways of techniques used in attacks and stuff like that. So that's how you don't get bored doing the same stuff. Yeah.
Right. And for the last question on CTF, right? For NanoSec and Wargames, last year we combined together to have our own CTF. All right. So stay tuned to the website, right? Either nanosec.asia or in Facebook look for WGMY Wargames.My or Wargames.My if I'm not wrong. All right, so stay tuned to the website. The organizer will update from time to time. Okay, Fakhri, you are being listed.
Okay. So for the question from Waikba, we do have our own mentor of the mind. I'm really sorry, I don't remember. Maybe I don't remember most of them. So maybe Yap, Ramadan, and I don't know. I just can't remember. So that is one of the mentor lah. For every month, they have like the best mentor of the month because of they provide tutorials a lot. So I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Have any plan to give a
Oh,
thought?
sure, you can just contact GCC, NanoSec, Wargames, ROSEC. Right, just drop us a mail. So for email, right, will be, I'll just type it here, Surat Malaysia kan, nanosec.asia. Right. Am I correct? I think I get it wrong.
Okay.
Sorry, us NanoSec. Right. Sorry, ignore the first one. That one is an invalid email. All right. So let's call off the day. Hopefully, right, we can meet each other soon in any talks, any sharing sessions, any mini conference, large conference. All right. So hope to see everyone soon. Stay safe. Save the penyu. And and happily live ever after. All right. Take care, everyone. See you.